This is a follow-on from my awareness part 1 video. If you haven't checked that out, then go check it out, because this is going to be like an ongoing thing. You know, they're all going to sort of follow along the same lines, and I will be reverting back to previous parts of this conversation on awareness. So I want to cover, to a degree, alternate realities, which ties in with part 1 in terms of, remember I said about the, you know, having a chat in Jamaica and everything else, and a guy come up with a brilliant name for this, you know, the changes that happen out there. So you've got all the planets in the universe, and there has to be, eventually, if you go on infinite, there has to be a repeat of everything, and almost identical. You know, everything will have a slight change. And you know, if you go on to the green shirt theory, which I spoke about in my previous video, so I won't go into that. But if you go into the green shirt theory, then basically, if everything has to be repeated, then everything eventually, then, and our consciousness can travel many times faster than the speed of light, almost instantaneous, over billions of miles, you know, then there's no reason why we can't alter, or our awareness can't shift to that reality. And this takes us on to dreams. For instance, I had a dream last night. I don't share my dreams very often, but you know, I don't feel that it's necessarily a good thing, if you know what I mean. I don't know enough about it yet. And the more I learn about it, the more I learn that it's your own personal thing. Like being a creator, you know, you try not to share exactly what you're creating, because other people can counteract it or work on that. So yeah, going on from that, I had a dream last night, and in this dream I woke up in a reality, because that's what I'm going to start speaking about it from now on. So I woke up in a reality where I'm looking at a photograph of me and my brothers all together. But both my brothers are dead, incidentally, but I woke up in a photograph as we were children, you know, nice and innocent, all our shirts off. There is photographs that exist in this reality of that. Very rare that we were all three of us were photographed together. We weren't a very rich family when we were younger, so we didn't get many photographs. But part of that was, you know, we all had our shirts off, sort of all in the sort of lovely sunlight, and I can remember saying in this alternate reality, you know, this is one of the rare pictures when we were all together, but it wasn't a picture I'd ever seen before in my life. It was completely new. But I was aware that they were gone in that reality, and that I was sort of, you know, sort of admiring the fact that we were all caught on camera together. So taking that on a little bit further, if you think about your consciousness shift, and there being many versions of planet Earth and everything like this repeated, maybe on a different frequency, maybe every planet out there, which I discussed in a talk I did many years ago for Truth Juice Bristol, I think it was. But basically, when you tune, you know, we're in the electromagnetism sort of trap at the moment. But when you tune, you retune your frequency. You, on the same planet, for instance, you can get different realities that you tune into. Hence why, you know, where my sort of in that, having those experiences myself, where you tune into alternate realities on your planet. So the basic line of the planet, you know, is virtually the same, but certain parts of it have changed. And as you tune into those different realities, is a bit like with the dreams, you know. You start getting things pop in, bridge that gap between the two realities, and come into your visual awareness, albeit sometimes at the corner of your eye. Sometimes you can actually follow these things, and that's what I'm going to say. There is people as well, but there's also things, and they can be all different ages. You know, it could be someone you already know. Not that I've had that experience myself. But that the possibility is there that it could be someone you know you've lost. But yeah, going back to the creating, you know, entering different realities, as in different planetary systems with slightly different alignments of exactly the same thing. That's part of your awareness shift. How would you know that you, for instance, shifted awareness to this other planet and woke up on that the next morning if everything is virtually the same but just a few things have changed? And this is why our consciousness gives us a pathway to change our reality. You know that there's things that you can do in the magical process that actually shifts your awareness to a different version of this reality, which then becomes, and you know, you're consciously aware that this is exactly what you created. Hence the synchronicities, and how you guys who get synchronicities out there are very aware. You've got a higher state of awareness of actually what you're creating. To go a little bit deeper into that creation, it's possible to bring those dreams into your waking reality. I do this all the time. I did it yesterday morning. Attempted to do it this morning. It gets easier as time goes on, but it takes years of practice. Not to put anybody off, because some people just get it like that, you know, and they just, you know, as in, I did it like that. It would just come from nowhere. But you can sort of, it's your way of becoming that getting those visions, those waking dreams, if you want to call it that. The visions is a way of finding out where it's like getting in contact with your subconscious mind and where it's heading, so you can sort of vet your magical process. If you're seeing things in a waking reality where you're conscious with your eyes shut and you're going to another reality, it gives you an idea of where your consciousness is. To use this morning's dream as an example, with my brothers being in that photograph, I've obviously not moved on from the stage that I've lost my brothers. So that would be an obvious way of putting that. If I moved on from the state that I'd lost my brothers would be alive, walking around, and I wouldn't be sort of looking at a photograph thinking, oh, you know, this is one of the rare photographs when we were alive. Obviously, it was a different reality. It was a completely different photograph, but along the same lines as ones that exist. Do you see where I'm going with this? It's the dreams are, you know, like deja vus, for instance. Deja vus are basically just waking dreams. I know that because I've done it myself. I've remembered being consciously aware of a dream that I've had, and it's happened in reality. And then I've also had the waking dreams, visions, whatever you want to call it, when you go into that sort of meditation state where it completely becomes your reality, but you're consciously aware that you're sat in a chair, but you enter this other reality and you can view around it and look around and focus on what you want. And keeping that reality here is the hardest thing, you know, because you can get a bit excited, and your frequency changes and you tune out. So looking at life from that perspective, in the fact that you can sort of vet what you're tuning into, and the deja vu is a waking dream, because I've done it many times where I've seen something and it's very, very familiar, and then all of a sudden, boom, oh yeah, of course it is, because when I was in that meditative state the other day, or a month ago, or whatever, whenever it was, I actually had this vision, so I've already experienced it. Of course, entering that is your awareness going to an alternate reality in the same way as your dream does. Your dream's like an alternate reality. And by realizing that, you start understanding that time isn't really, you know, you can see now, years ago I used to say time that doesn't really exist. It's very funny. It goes to it may exist to us here, that we sort of fade in and we fade out, just like everything else in nature. But that isn't the actual truth. The truth, if you look at it, is the fact that you're experiencing everything in eternal now, but your awareness jumps. You know, you can't experience something from the past to the future. It has to exist right now. Everything exists in an eternal now. You just hop around and jump around, and you don't realize you've jumped around. So obviously dreaming is a way of keeping an eye on that magical process. When you're making yourself aware of something that isn't true, that's what you're doing. You're making your five senses aware and alert to something that isn't actually true. So this will be part 2 of my awareness videos, and I hope you're enjoying these. I'm going to do plenty more, but only when I feel in this state of mind that I'm in right now, so with clarity. Thank you.